Hello horror fans, and welcome to a special bonus episode of Silver Screams Reacts. Katie didn't believe me when I told her there was a Mothman movie starring Richard Gere.
You didn't tell me it was Mothman Prophecies. I've actually heard of that. I thought there was an actual Mothman movie.
The Mothman is in that movie, Katie!
But it wasn't called Mothman. I've heard of Mothman Prophecies. I thought it was something else.
What other movie did you think I was talking about?
I mean, the Cloverfield Paradox wasn't about Cloverfield.
That's
a whole other ball of wax.
The ending sure pretends it does.
I love Cloverfield Paradox, by the way. It's a beautiful turn your brain off movie.
And I'm thoroughly indifferent to this movie. So, without further ado, guys, we are reacting to the trailer to the 2002 Mothman Prophecies movie starring Richard Gere. Click.
Comedy. Fucking comedy.
Is that what it's called?
That's what this is. Oh, wow, that's been a while. Oh, man.
Life when it's good and great before terrible things happen.
We were just making sure there was adequate closet space.
Good. This house is yours if you want it. We'll take it.
Oh no!
It's me.
You didn't see it. You didn't see it. You didn't see it.
See what?
Okay, but did you see it?
She was drawing angels.
What are you doing here?
Somehow between 1 and 2:30, I traveled 400 miles. I've got no memory.
The past few months, people have been coming up to me and reporting
That lady looks so disgruntled.
weird lights, strange phone calls.
Who is this?
What do you do when someone comes into your office and tells you they saw this in the backyard?
My wife saw something. Drew pictures. Just like this.
It definitely looks like it's from 2002.
You know what that is?
One day I started hearing voices. The voices became messages.
He was right here. All I could see were these two red eyes.
I met him. You met him. He said, do not be afraid.
All 99 are believed dead.
You're reading my mind, are you? What's my mind?
Chopsticks.
Whew.
This isn't just a message, it's a prediction.
That is legit the creepiest part of the movie, is when he's on the phone with him.
Earthquakes are going to happen. People you know and love are going to die. And no matter what that voice tells you,
You're afraid right now, aren't you?
there's nothing you can do about it.
I can stop this.
That was really good throwing for him.
Based on true events!
www.themothmanlives.com. I kind of want to get on that now and see if it's
Do you want to look it up? And see if it's still there?
I do. Get an iPad. Definitely. This is gonna fuck up my Chrome search history. You know it will.
You're the one that brought up the Mothman.
Okay, but I wasn't expecting that.
So, it's been years since I've watched the movie, but it's less, in my opinion, it's less horror and more just kind of supernatural thriller, which feels like an arbitrary distinction when I say it out loud. But it's more, you know, creepy, esoteric, supernatural kind of things are going on. Richard Gere is trying
Someone else bought the
domain name?
domain. I mean, it's been since 2002.
Yeah.
If you're gonna keep a movie marketing website archived, it's gonna be the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah,
Because that is some internet history there.
exactly.
But the mothmanlives.com?
Oh dear. Oh sweetie. Oh sweetie. But from what I remember,
Based on true events.
that was just like wasn't that just the fucking cherry on top?
car accident and I saw the Mothman and now he's predicting death. And I'm like, what?
What's interesting is
I'm
that
pretty sure that's not actual Mothman lore. I don't know.
the Mothman actually, in terms of the lore that I know off the top of my head, he is a portent, or supposedly a portent of, tragedy to come. You're not gonna watch it anytime soon.
Fuck no.
Spoiler alert, I guess,
for a movie
this
that's
16-year-old movie.
and I'm definitely looking up Mothman and see if we...
The whole sort of climax of the movie is like the entire time, Mothman is there are like all these breadcrumbs that Richard Gere is trying to follow to kind of figure out what's going on here. And what you find out at the climax of the story is that the Mothman was basically making a prophecy about this bridge collapse in Virginia. And that's the climax of the story, is the bridge collapse, which is a real, actual event where real people died. And a lot of people have attributed the Mothman to, in real life, having predicted the event.
Okay. So, in West Virginia folklore, the Mothman is a creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 12, 1966 to December 15, 1967. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register dated November 16, 1966, titled, "Couple See Man-Sized Bird, Creature, Something." I love those ellipses, and I don't think you can get away with a headline like that nowadays, but I love it. The national press soon picked up on the reports and helped spread the story across the United States. The Mothman was introduced to a wider audience by Gray Barker in 1970 and later popularized by John Keel in his 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies, claiming that there were supernatural events related to the sightings and a connection to the collapse of the Silver Bridge.
There it is.
Yeah, the Mothman appears in popular culture. The 2002 film The Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere, was based on Keel's book. An annual festival in Point Pleasant is devoted to the Mothman legend. I have a friend who just went to that. It was just this past weekend.
If anybody's listening to the current arc in the Adventure Zone Amnesty, they make a few references to the Mothman, so definitely check that out if you're interested. I like their take on it.
Yeah.
Anything else interesting?
Wildlife biologist Dr. Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told reporters that descriptions and sightings all fit the sandhill crane, a large American crane almost as high as a man with a 7-foot wingspan featuring circles of reddish coloring under the eyes, and that the bird may have wandered out of its migration route. The particular crane was unrecognized at first because it was not native to the region.
So when it comes to the Mothman, bird is the word?
Maybe it's Birdman. Birdman!
Completely different image. Completely different image in my brain.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so the climax of the movie is the collapse of that bridge. And Richard Gere trying to save the
People.
Yeah, mostly the blonde woman who happened to be on the bridge at the time. I remember thinking it was kind of boring when I watched it, that it wasn't what I anticipated it would be. Although I probably should, go back and give it another watch, because it was a very heavily atmospheric movie. It was very slow paced, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So maybe I just didn't have as much patience when I was in high school. However, as I said before, from what I can remember, that whole sequence where the Mothman calls Richard Gere and actually talks to him and, what do I have in my hand right now? Chapstick. Like, that is legit kind of creepy it is legit creepy from what I remember. And I will say, from what I remember, the bridge sequence is also pretty chilling. Maybe it doesn't hold up. Like I said, I haven't watched it since I was in high school, so it's been probably about 14, 13 years since I've watched that film. So
what I find interesting in all of this is that it's a local cryptid sighting that gained a lot of popularity because it was associated with a tragedy. And I think that's what cemented it. Like, had there not been a bridge collapse, it would have just been like, hey, this is a thing that happened. And it would have just been like, oh, West Virginia. Or Virginia. Oh, I already forgot.
Point Pleasant. Yeah.
Point Pleasant, yeah. Like, oh, you. But then it was associated with that, and then there was a book that came out almost a decade after the fact, and everyone went, oh my god, Mothman.
I mean...
And now it's a thing.
There's something you can say in terms of the sociological aspect of that, of people needing to rationalize pointless tragedies and attributing it to what may or may not have been a supernatural being on... And I don't even think the Mothman gets blamed for what happened. I feel like the Mothman, it's more
was
like...
trying to warn us.
The Mothman tried to warn us! So yeah, it's interesting how stories about cryptids, how they begin and how they grow and evolve and how they cement themselves in popular culture. If you guys are interested in stories like that, I highly recommend the podcast Lore. Those ones are fun. They definitely take a look at certain cryptids and urban legends and hauntings and things like that, and they examine them and talk a little bit about origins and different stories through the years. They did one on the Jersey Devil pretty early on. So yeah, highly recommend checking out that podcast if you guys get the chance.
I always find it really interesting to see, like, all right, what are our national cryptids? Like, what do people really...
Mothman, Jersey Devil, yeah.
Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Like, that's the big one. You can talk to someone who's like, what the fuck is Mothman? But you say, oh, you know, it's kind of like Bigfoot. Oh, yeah, kind of like, okay, like... And it's interesting to see what gets popular and what doesn't, what is regional, like jackalopes, which are one of those things that I love because I grew up in the Midwest for the most part. And so that's just one of those like, jackalopes, they're a thing, cool. And then I'd run into someone from a different area of the country and be like, jackalopes. And they'd be like, what the fuck is a jackalope? And it's just one of those things. It's really, really interesting just to see what spreads, what doesn't, what gains traction. And I want to say that our most recently created cryptid that has just gone is Slender Man.
If you want to count that. I don't know if internet creepypastas count, but I mean, the internet is creating our modern urban legends. So,
we call them creepypastas, and they have names like Smile Dog and Slender Man and, oh god, Ben, I think Ben Died is the name of that one.
Or Ben Lives. That's the sequel.
You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?
My favorite cryptid.
I remember when that one gained traction. I remember like being on that one when it was like, dang.
My favorite cryptid growing up in Southern California and being of a little bit of Mexican descent, I'm fond of the chupacabra.
Chupa thingy, Griff. How about that?
I'm very fond of the
Mexican
chupacabra.
lizard eats all the ghosts.
So we want to know, what is your favorite cryptid and why?
I don't know. What is your favorite ridiculous piece of media based on a cryptid?
Yes.
We're here because I didn't think a Mothman movie existed, alright? Like, this is how this happened, is we were like, what? What? There's a Mothman movie?
Happy now, what? Katie? Are you happy now?
I'm fucking thrilled, and I am never watching it.
It's not bad. It's just a little slow pace. You never really get a good look at the Mothman.
I'm not scared. I just don't really have enough heartbeats to invest in it, you know? Like, I can watch this, or I can watch a very long list of other things that I have not yet watched and would like to. And I think I'll pick something off that very long list of other things.
The thing
that's life.
that I'm looking at is it's been a long time since I've watched this movie. I was only half paying attention during the first half of it when I watched it originally. So I probably owe it another watch. Whether or not I'll give it that chance, we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Katie, where can people go if they want to keep up with you?
I'm Katie. You can find me in Point Pleasant at the Mothman Festival. You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like reactions to non-horror things, they live on that YouTube channel.
And I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. Be sure to follow Silver Screams at Silver_Screams. Like us on Facebook. All that jazz. Don't forget to leave the comments down below.
Tell us about
thoughts.
your fun stuff.
Whether or not you've actually seen this movie and whether or not you liked it or thought it was stupid.
And whether or not you've actually seen a cryptid.
Have you ever seen the Mothman?
I've seen a jackalope, but only stuffed.
You haven't seen a jackalope, have you? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you all next time. Chupa thingy.
How about that?